Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11. Tower clear.
Okay, we got a roll program.
Go for main engine start. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. All three engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0. And liftoff. The final liftoff of Atlantis. On the shoulders of the space shuttle, America will continue the dream.
Roger, roll, Atlantis.
Second umbilical tower now separating. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And liftoff of the Soyuz 29 spacecraft that is taking Don Pettit, Oleg Kononenko, and Andrei Kuipers into the International Space Station.
4, 3, 2, 1. Main engine start, 0. And liftoff of the Atlas V with Curiosity. Seeking clues to the planetary puzzle about life on Mars.
Hi everyone, I'm live again, here from my bedroom, and we have Iridium 6 today. This was a nice intro, thank you. Yeah, I worked hard on it. I think it shows our past, our present, and I will add the future. So, space was our past, is our present, and will be our future. That's my motto. So yeah, Iridium 6 and this is going to be a right share, Iridium 6 and Grace follow-on. Grace follow-on is it's called follow-on because I just the beginning of this year and December last year, I don't know the exact dates. The two like in December one of the two satellites burned up, and then in December one burned up, and they were actually measuring the gravitational field to measure the flow of water, and they do that by measuring their position exactly to they position them at 220 kilometers apart, and then they have a really sensitive what is it, a accelerometer. Yeah, it's really sensitive, so they can measure the like the acceleration or deceleration they get from drag or solar radiation, and so they can cancel out those. The satellites are identical, and they shoot a microwave beam to each other, and then they measure the distance, and if nothing, so there's no acceleration between the two, but their distance changes. One got sped up because the gravity was a bit lower. And yeah, so the Iridium satellites, there are 5 more satellites for the Iridium constellation, and Iridium had needed a launch because with only 5 satellites, they had, I believe, they are launching 75 Iridium satellites on the SpaceX rockets. So they needed one with 5, and Germany, the DLR, yeah, DLR was responsible for the launch, and then 1 and 1 was 2, so they added these launches together so they could share the cost. And then what was happening actually last week, I believe, stage 2 recovery. Let's talk. No, German. Yeah, I know what it's called in German. It's Deutsche uh, Luft- und Raumfahrt. No, something. It's DLR. I'm pretty sure of that. But stage 2 recovery. That's really yeah, that's a really big story that came out. Actually, I believe it was 2 weeks ago. Elon tweeted it, and yeah. So how are they gonna do it? Well, if I will just show you with. Oh, I can show you the Block 5 booster. Actually, this second stage is nicer. So right now we know the first stage comes back and it lands on the drone ship, and it's going about 2 kilometers. It doesn't pass 3 kilometers. It never has. If it was recoverable, so the heating is pretty substantial, but it's manageable with the grid fins that don't melt anymore, and the cooling in the engines, and then of course the re-entry burn, which slows it down, but also has the plume also protects the rocket for a bit. And yeah, if you have the second stage, this is the Block 5 second stage, by the way, but every second stage from now on, I believe, maybe this rocket and says 12 is not, but I think every rocket from now on is gonna have the Block 5 second stage at least. So yeah, I was talking about the. Let me just delete that. And yeah, so the second stage recovery. How are they gonna achieve second stage recovery? That's the big story here. Yeah. So there. Of course, the first stage only has 2.5 kilometers, but when you re-enter with this, you have over 7 kilometers a second, 7.3 if you come down. That means that it is almost 4 times the speed of the first stage, which means 8 times the heating. And hey there, hi. And so that means that you're definitely without protection. You're definitely gonna burn up. That there's just no way your stage is gonna survive that. So there are 2 ways. Well, I think actually a little bit more, but there are variations of it to protect your satellite. So you have them, and the most plausible one they're going to go with, I think, is I will start with that. That is, if you have the stage, in here you have a deployable, inflatable heat shield that will inflate, increase the diameter, and also protect everything that's behind it from the heating. Then it will do its deorbit burn. It will flip around, it deploy the shield, and then come in for a landing and probably deploy another airfoil like the fairings, and then it will slowly go down and be caught by Mr. Stevens, and they can reuse it again. But also, what they could do is the payload adapter, like the silver thing, make it a heat shield, and actually, from the engine is very heavy, so is deploy from the back is sort of a balloon parachute. That's called a balloon. It's self-inflatable, but my internet is not cooperating again. Okay, now it's good. Um, they will deploy the balloon from behind, and so while you're going through the atmosphere, and of course it will be protected for the heat, but it will increase your diameter just like the inflatable heat shield does, but it's more like a drag device, so it works like a parachute, but it's self-inflatable. So due to the airspeed, it inflates itself, and it's just like a balloon dragging behind the rocket. And since Elon Musk tweeted that they were going to do something with a giant party balloon, I think they're gonna try to do it first with the balloon. Yeah. So yeah, questions about this mission. This is going to be a slightly longer mission because the second stage, as it goes around the Earth, first it launches and then it will deploy the Grace follow-on satellites. Then they wait for 50 minutes, and then they change the inclination of the orbit, so they will be right above the North Pole, I believe. And then they will deploy the F5 Iridium satellite. Is what they sacrifice to add heat shield. The payload mass, of course. They will, well, depends on which system they will use, because if you have the heat shield, they can have like these. The heat shield doesn't need to weigh a lot to protect the satellite, and then once you pass the most of the heating, because really the front needs to be protected, and since the behind is it's just trailing behind, and it's inflatable, so it doesn't take up a lot of space. But yeah, but this is only gonna be for low Earth missions in the first time, I believe, because when you are going with a GTO launch, you're going at 9 kilometers an hour a second instead of 7. So yeah, that's really cool. And also, what else they could do is, there is like, those are the two main ways, but there might be some different ways, be like what they are won't be very stable. Well, depends. If you have a large balloon dragging behind it, it doesn't really, because this naturally, this is the heaviest if your tank is almost empty and it wants to flip like this. But if you add a dragging balloon behind your rocket, it's gonna naturally want to stay like this. And it also, keep in mind, it has nitrogen thrusters, so in the upper atmosphere it can control itself. But if they right now they do a destructive reentry, which means they go very steep into the atmosphere, but they might just do something like a skip. So they skip on the atmosphere a few times, so they spread the heating, and then the balloon thing might be the lightest thing to do, because it wants to, like, your center of gravity is like right here, or like it's somewhere here, so it wants to flip like this. But you of course you don't, if you have a drag thing behind it. Your center of drag will be somewhere like right here if you have a wire. So then it will be stable like this, and you only need a extra heat shield on top of here. So yeah, that's talking stage 2 corrupt. It will be difficult, yeah, but I think they will do it indeed. It should, once they figured it out, they should be able to do it. They might have some recovery equipment on the second stage right now to test it. We don't know, because they are sacrificing the first stage booster. Will have a depletion burn because it's firing for 2 minutes and 46 seconds, so there will be no fuel left in the first stage. So they might have enough extra margin in the second stage to even attempt something at recovery. Yeah, T-minus 33 minutes. We should see the stream coming live in a few minutes. Yeah. So they started fueling the rocket just a few minutes ago with oxygen, and they should be good to go. Let me. Well, I don't think so, because if you can get, it will be cheaper if they can get it, get all of it back. But that might be just, my camera is way too high, or my chair is too low. Let me just adjust this. Yeah, and over here, of course, you can see the clock counting down to launch time. I will remove that once the... Yeah, the BFR is coming. Yeah, indeed. Let me change this up. Yeah, my computer decided to just totally ignore my second screen, so I have my... Oh, no. Why? Okay, for some reason, my internet just randomly decides to just drop down to 0, and then, or my speed decides to drop to 0, and then come back up, drop to 0, come back up, but it seems to be okay. Hello, hi everyone. So yeah, I am still. Whew, I have to see if I'm still. My stream just quit. Did it quit? Oh my god. Ah. Did it quit or did it not quit? It didn't quit. It didn't quit. It did quit for me. Yep. But I'm exporting it. Huh? Okay, I have some misunderstanding with my... Is it only me, or please let me know. No, it is not only me. Now it is suddenly... Okay, let me do this. Okay, this is not right. OBS has some failure or something. Yeah, now it's back. It's normal. Yeah, okay. That was weird. No. What is it doing? Okay, so let me disconnect this. Okay. Okay, it's really weird. My OBS tells me I have 12,000. It suddenly jumped up to 12,000. Now it says 3,000, then 7,000, then 9,000. Then it drops to 200 kilobytes per second, and then it goes back up to 12, like 120,000, and then it says it has 11,000, and then it just stays normal for a long time. It's weird. I think OBS is close to crashing. It's still reaching 60 FPS though, so I don't complain. But yeah, I've bought a HDMI splitter for my graphics card now, so I can split the channel in two, because my graphics card only has one HDMI external. Yeah, I think it's OBS. It's not my internet. It's OBS. Some weird thing happened. Anyway, yeah. Are there any questions? Yeah, my OBS is weird. Yeah, I thought so. It's really weird. Now it's doing it again. Connect. Hi guys, I'm back. I searched for some reason it doesn't want to connect and it flips out, and so I disconnected my also what I wanted. Oh yeah, I can show you guys. I have a problem with actually figuring out the aerodynamics of this little sucker. This is gonna be on top of the booster that it was launched on, but I have a problem because every time I try, so the nose is not on there, but I tried aerodynamic testing anyway because I figured it was had to be stable like this, and then this doesn't really matter. But every time it either flips out or just nose dives down, and I wanted to keep a stable position like this without having to adjust anything, so I don't have to make it RC. I'm planning on making it radio controlled, but yeah, not gonna happen in a short time because money is. But I think I might need to go on Patreon or something. I don't know, but it will gonna fly. It's gonna fly pretty high if I do it on a like the most powerful engine I can buy and own. I can launch it to probably 300 meters, and yeah, then I will disconnect. It will disconnect, and then it will fly down. But I want to make it radio controlled so I can control the movement of this thingy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so and I'm still live. Yeah. Let's see if they're on in better. How do you call it? Well, this is actually the Indian shuttle. It's the reusable launch vehicle technology demonstrator. But I think I'm gonna make it radio controlled anyway. But I need to redesign the engines or the. As you see, these are flat. But I'm um, um, gonna buy some foam board at the end of the month, and then I can so Aha! Oh. It better. Well, we have a launch in 20 minutes. I'm back, at least, for... But what I was explaining is that I'm gonna make the wings out of foam board, then so I can create a proper shape, because right now they're just as flat as a pancake. But I can create the proper shape of the airfoil, and I can like sand it, so I can even glue multiple layers on it, on top of each other, then sand it, and you gotta be kidding me. What the fuck is happening? Okay, sorry for swearing, but now it's back up again. Okay, so I think it's just okay. But anyway, but the problem I keep having is that it pitches up and then goes still first and then just stalls, or it just nosedives. So I have to figure out where exactly to put extra weight. But I might even skip the gliding part, just attach it to the rocket, and then it comes down under a parachute, and then go on to developing a radio controlled one. But that's gonna be a expensive project. I think it's gonna be around 200. Well, maybe a little bit less, but 150 euros for something like this. Yeah, and I'm gonna make it fly definitely, but it's gonna be expensive. What's that? It's the Indian shuttle, or the reusable reusable launch vehicle technology demonstrator, and that's the one that was in the picture on my Twitter, and I'm gonna make it fly. But this one is like, this is a better one. Hey, we have a Space Extreme. Okay, I'm gonna head over there in a few minutes, but what it is, I'm gonna make it fly, but I'm having problems keeping it stable, because right now it just wants to flip backwards and then just spin out of control. But I want to keep it like this, so it flies stable through the air and glides. But apparently it doesn't want to keep it that way. But if I can't get it fixed, I will fly it, but I will attach a parachute to it, so it just comes down under a parachute. And I'm planning to make a next version of it, the same rocket but different shuttle, and make it radio controlled, so I can glide it with radio control. Well, actually, I can glide with radio control, so it goes up to about 300 meters, then separates, and then I can glide it down and control its path. But yeah, that's gonna be an expensive project, so it's gonna take some time. But it's gonna be cool though, because I will have I checked if I can fly it. I am the first one to fly a model of this, and if I can get it radio controlled, I will be the first model of this radio controlled. So that's gonna be really cool. But yeah. And I have more of these projects, because I was thinking about making a I'm not gonna make a SpaceX rocket land like it does, but yeah, name something. Oh yeah, if you have like the Vega rocket and then the IXV, make the IXV launch and then land. But those projects are gonna be expensive because of all the electronics, but yeah, I might live stream it and all that stuff. Oh god. I'm gonna make a GoFundMe or something for for these projects because those are really cool. But I was thinking of making it even bigger, so enlarging the model. But I don't know about that. Would be really cool though. So yeah, let's head over to. So wait, let me check what it was. It was Q and F1. Okay. So Q F1. Seriously, that was help for. Okay, I didn't do that correctly, but anyway. So yeah, SpaceX Iridium 6 launching in just over well 20 minutes. Yeah, I am here. Hey, SpaceX.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff of Falcon 9.
So yeah. Let's go.
Good afternoon from SpaceX headquarters in Hawthorne, California. Welcome to the webcast of the Iridium 6 and Grace follow-on missions. We're flying 5 Iridium Next satellites to join the 50 satellites previously placed in orbit over the last 16 months. In addition, we are flying the Grace follow-on mission made up of 2 satellites. GRACE stands for Gravity Recovery and Climate Experiment. And you're seeing a live view of Falcon 9 as we prepare for launch in just under 15 minutes from now. Today's launch is scheduled for 19 hours, 47 minutes, 58 seconds Universal Time, or 12:47:58 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. I'm John Innsbrucker, the Falcon Principal Integration Engineer, and I'm broadcasting from the mezzanine at lunchtime here at SpaceX headquarters, overlooking our Launch Support Center. And I'll be providing you updates throughout today's launch and flight, which will be lasting just over 1 hour. Now, today's mission will be different from most of our flights. We're deploying satellites into 2 different orbits. So once we get into the first orbit, stay with us as the GRACE satellites will be deployed just over 11 minutes after launch, followed by the Iridium Next satellites.
So yeah, this launch is going to be a long one. It's going to last for over an hour, and yeah, they might be doing some re-entry testing, but there is like 0 fuel left for any controlled splashdowns or anything.
Today's launch is from Space Launch Complex 4 at Vandenberg Air Force Base, a nice view you can see right there on the webcast. We have the 2-stage Falcon 9 vehicle standing 70 meters tall on the launch pad. Now, to put that in comparison, that's longer than the wingspan of an Airbus 380 or a Boeing 747. The first stage provides the initial force to get us out of the majority of the Earth's atmosphere. The first stage on this flight is easy to spot. It still bears the re-entry soot from the re-entry on its previous flight. Now, this is the second flight of this booster, having first flown just over 4 months ago.
Yeah, and it's going to be expendable, so...
Unlike our newer Block 5 boosters, this first stage is not planned for additional flights, so SpaceX will not recover it today. We will be following the second stage as it takes the satellite from the edge of space and accelerates it to orbital speeds of just over 7.5 kilometers per second. Now, as a reference, that takes us faster than 10 times a speeding bullet. Now, we're going to follow the second stage into orbit, and partway through, while we're just after stage separation, you'll see the payload fairing separate. You can see the fairing on top of the Falcon 9 right now. That's a 17-foot diameter object, inside of which are the 5 Iridium Next satellites and the 2 GRACE follow-on satellites.
Now for this
So
mission,
the
we
white,
will attempt to recover the payload fairing as part of our ongoing
the white marks you
fairing
see at the
reuse
bottom are not
initiative.
the landing legs.
There's
They
a
are
view,
actually
a shot
the
from the Falcon 9 payload fairing retrieval ship called Mr. Stevens, currently on station in the Pacific Ocean.
the markings, the legs
Now,
left behind, but the legs are not
recovering
there.
the entire vehicle is part of our overall plan for Falcon, as well as the follow-on rocket that takes us to Mars and interplanetary. So fairing recovery is an important step towards that goal. Meanwhile, back on the launch pad next to the rocket, you can see the transporter rector, the large white frame structure that contains plumbing, air conditioning, and electric.
But like I said, also this the tower you see, the launch tower, it's it can also handle Falcon Heavies. So but it's like the old design, so it doesn't fall back like the one on LZ or Launch Complex 40 and Launch Complex 40 or 39A.
T-minus 11 minutes and counting. And as we like to say in the webcast, the Falcon 9 team is working no issues. On the Falcon 9, we
but with
this
this ship cam, that will be really cool. We can might even get a live view payload fairing recovery.
Is completely loaded on the second stage. Fueling is continuing on the first stage. That will finish loading about 7 minutes before launch. Liquid oxygen loading is ongoing on both the first and second stages and will wrap up in just the last minutes of the countdown. Now our next major activity coming up in about 3.5 minutes is opening the pre-valves between the first stage propellant tanks and the 9 Merlin 1D engines. This allows the cold liquid oxygen to flow to the top of the turbo pumps, begin chilling them in prior to ignition at T-minus 3 seconds. Now on top of the Falcon 9, the Iridium and Grace satellite teams, they're both reporting no issues. They have transferred.
That's nice. Also,
power and check that square at T-minus 15 minutes.
This launch window is it's only 1 second long, so they is instantaneous. Should something come up in the count, they have to scrub for today.
And as you can see, the fog has lifted. We've got a great view of Falcon 9 with blue skies and currently a 0% probability of violating weather conditions. So at T-minus 9 minutes 40 seconds and counting, all systems are go.
So yeah. That will be really cool if they can catch that live. That will be epic. If they can even. But I think looking at the video, it was a bit rough out there, so the data link might not be that good. But it will be really epic if they can show it live.
In order to correctly position the satellites, the SpaceX team has to launch right on time. Today's launch window is only 1 second long. So if we delay for any reason, that dreaded hold in the countdown, we do have a backup opportunity tomorrow if conditions permit. Now we'll have a camera view on the second stage. The camera will show the 5 Iridium satellites that are on the bottom of their cylindrical dispenser. That's the area closest to the second stage. On top of that are the 2 Grace satellites that are mounted side by side on their custom dispenser. They're harder to see. In fact, the camera can't see past the 5 Iridium X satellites, so we won't see them until hopefully after separation on orbit. Now the 2 Grace satellites will be simultaneously deployed shortly after we get into orbit. That's about 11.5 minutes after liftoff. We're then going to have a long coast phase as traditional for Iridium, followed by relighting the second stage engine to change the orbit to that required by the Iridium customer. Now once we get into this new orbit, the 5 Iridium Next satellites will be deployed. That starts about 66 minutes after liftoff. We're going to release the satellites one at a time every 100 seconds.
So
now, as many of you remember, we've been launching Iridium satellites since the beginning of 2017. We're going to have 2 more launches after today's to finish the Iridium constellation. Now when completed, that network will have a total of 66 active satellites as well as 9 in-orbit spares. Now you may wonder, with this large constellation of cross-linked satellites going around in low Earth orbit,
Let me
what
just
does that allow
close
people
all my
to do?
window up.
Well, one of the key capabilities of the
getting
Iridium
dark.
Next
Sorry.
system
Oh.
is supporting
messed with the
emergency
camera.
situations. So let's take a look at how Iridium Next provides connectivity for emergency services and first responders around the world.
We take our safety for granted. We expect that we can make a call, be located, and be in touch when needed. And we don't think much about our safety beyond that, until we need help. Then we reach for our phone, we call the police, the fire department, whoever it is, we call the number. And we expect to make that connection. We have faith that that call will always go through. What if it doesn't? What if the water is rising, the fire is getting closer, or there is a medical emergency in a remote area? You don't want to be faced with this. What if a natural disaster has destroyed phone lines and cell towers? What then? First responders need reliable, quick access to be able to coordinate relief efforts across teams in desperate situations. In today's world, staying connected is critical. How do aircraft stay connected so they get to their final destination safely? A ship in the middle of the ocean needs to stay connected, as the weather can change in a moment's notice, and emergencies can mean life or death. Threats to our safety are unpredictable. A reliable connection shouldn't be. Iridium's constellation of 66 satellites constantly orbiting the Earth means no matter where we are, anywhere, for any reason, we can have a lifeline to safety. It makes sense their new broadband service is called Iridium Certus. The name means certain and reliable. Iridium's global connectivity provides people in the air, at sea, or remote location, as well as the people committed to keeping us safe. But the
Yeah, no
peace of
landing.
mind
That's
of being
sad
connected.
for
When it
today. No landing.
comes to our safety, connectivity should never be in doubt, not have limits, and never be compromised. That's why Iridium makes the world a safer place.
That gave you a better sense of the connectivity the Iridium Next constellation will provide. As I mentioned, we also have 2 additional satellites on board mounted above the Iridium Next satellites. These are the Grace follow-on satellites. They're called follow-on because they replace 2 satellites, also called Grace, that were launched back in 2002. Now, the 2 Grace satellites fly in orbit about 220 kilometers apart. The satellites use microwave radio frequency signals to measure the distance between them. The measurement is accurate to about the thickness
Just
of a
close
blood
my
cell.
window.
It's incredibly accurate. Now, before I talked about their name, it's the mission of gravity recovery and climate experiment. The Earth's gravity will tug on each satellite at different times as they fly over mountains and seas. The accurate measurement and location that we have of the satellites allows the Earth's gravity to be measured and mapped. And knowing what causes the gravity to change slightly going around the Earth is used to understand how water is moving around the world, influencing the climate. Now, we've just passed inside of T-minus 4 minutes. The transporter erector Strongback is moving away from the Falcon 9. We're also finishing up loading liquid oxygen on the second and first stage. First stage should finish about 3 minutes, second stage shortly after that. Stage T TVC motion nominal just called out. That's the final check of the thrust vector control.
So yeah, this is
actuators that
probably the
move
penultimate
second
launch
stage
of a
engine
Block
in
4
flight.
booster.
Now, as we get inside of
There's
90
only
seconds, you
one
may see a
slated
large
to
white
fly.
cloud come off of that
That's
transporter
the
erector.
SAS
We're bending down
12,
gaseous
and
oxygen
that's
from the plumbing
flying
that's in the
at
erector,
the end of
so
May.
that cloud, if we do see one, that's normal. Iridium and Grace satellites are ready to go. The teams are waiting for launch. The range is ready to support, and the weather is cooperated. As a reminder, we do have a backup launch window tomorrow if anyone calls hold. That'll be about 5 minutes earlier than today. But right now, we've just passed inside of T-minus 3 minutes and counting. Everything looking good for the flight of Falcon 9.
And stage 1 locks close up.
So yeah. Hope this launches. Please no hold. Two minutes. So yeah. No recovery of the first stage, varying recovery, possibly even some tests on the second stage for recovery. So there might be some equipment on the second stage to help it with recovery. They won't recover it, but they might test something. So yeah. Bye bye block 4. Go go go. Yeah.
Vehicle gas closeout started.
So yeah, the tower will is now 15 degrees apart. This is a old model, and the tower will not fall back. It will just stay like this. I don't know when they will replace it, but I think they will replace the tower because it will allow them for quicker turnaround times.
AFTS is ready for launch.
It's -1 minute.
F9 is in startup.
So again, if something comes up, they will have to scrub. They don't have a choice.
LD, go for launch.
Go. 30 seconds coming up. T-30.
T-30.
Oh, no.
$20.
20 seconds.
Flight tanks configured for flight.
15.
10.
10.
9.
9.
8. 7. 6. 5. Go, go, go. 3. 2. 1. Liftoff. Yes, we have liftoff. Woo! Bye bye block 4. That's the penultimate flight of a block 4 booster. Hopefully we get some beautiful views.
Stage 1 props nominal. GC copies, we'll go.
Yeah, it's out of focus.
We're
That's
47 seconds into flight. Falcon 9 performing nominally.
so this is going to be burning for just a little less than 2 minutes more. It's going to burn to the 2 minutes 46 second mark. So it's going to be depleted. There's no fuel left in the stage afterwards.
You heard the
So
call
yeah.
out. Falcon 9 is supersonic. We're throttling the Merlin 1D engines back up as we pass through the period of maximum dynamic pressure.
Maximum dynamic pressure.
A minute and a half into flight, trajectory looks good for Falcon 9. We're seeing the view from a ground camera, and obviously we're having trouble with the autofocus. But Falcon 9 continues to track downrange well. Power on the Merlin 1D engines looks good. Avionics power looks good.
Yeah, let's go. They have 46 seconds more.
Back engine chill call out indicates that we have opened the pre-valve. We're beginning to chill in the upper stage engine in preparation for ignition.
Wow, that's a beautiful view, the
sequence of
infrared
events coming
image.
up. At T+245, we will have main engine cutoff. We'll shut down the 9 Merlin engines. The first stage will then separate, and we will light the second stage engine. So those activities coming up in just under 20 seconds from now.
So 10 more seconds of burn time. 4, 3, 2, 1, cut off.
We're throttling down the engines in preparation for MECO.
Okay.
Preparation, yeah. Fire that stage up. And there we go. Second stage ignition. Thanks for your duty. First stage, we will miss you. Bye bye.
Stage 1 AFTS.
We've had successful shutdown and separation. Second stage engine has lit.
So
Major activity coming up.
listen for a call out for the first stage, then we will know what they're gonna do with it. There you can see. Fairing separate.
We have fairing separation confirmed. You can see 3 of the Iridium next satellites of the set of 5. As I mentioned, the Grace satellites mounted on top of that, but not visible from the camera.
Following the nominal trajectory.
3.5 minutes into flight, we've heard the call out. The trajectory is nominal. The power on the upper stage engine is good. T plus 4 minutes since that great liftoff from Vandenberg. A view from the second stage aft-facing camera. The California coastline. We're headed south towards Antarctica.
Yeah, so they're going
Now, as a reminder,
to come
the first stage
down
is not
over
going to be
Antarctica,
recovered, so there won't be
Antarctica,
any
and then
views
come
from the
up
drone shutdown range on this mission.
east of Madagascar, I believe. Yeah, just a little east of Madagascar, and then come up over Russia, and then they will fire the second stage again, and then they will deploy the Iridium satellites. So we
5
should.
minutes into flight. Second stage engine power on the MVAC-D engine continues to look good. We're running at over 200,000 pounds of thrust in the vacuum of space. Trajectory continues to look good. Power on the second stage from the batteries mounted on the avionics rack continue to perform well. All systems continue to look good on the Falcon 9, carrying 5 Iridium Next satellites and the 2 Grace follow-on satellites.
See that vibration of the camera. Yeah, I heard they installed new cameras on the second stage, which are more they have better images, but they are more sensitive to vibration, so that's why the image shakes a lot.
T plus 6 minutes and 4 seconds into flight. Second stage of the Falcon 9 continues to perform nominally. All systems go on Falcon 9, carrying Iridium Next and Grace follow-on. Listen to call-outs from the propulsion team. Everything continues to look good for the upper stage engine. Now, as a reminder, it's 6 minutes and 45 seconds into flight. This is the first burn. That'll put us into an initial orbit, following which we will deploy the Grace satellites. We'll then have a second burn that moves us into final orbit for the deployment of the Iridium Next satellites. So stay with us after we get shut down of the engine. 7 minutes into flight. As I mentioned, we'll have 2 burns. In between will be a 42-minute coast phase between the end of burn 1 and the start of burn 2.
So the second burn will be just a few seconds to raise the orbit for the Iridium satellites. Right now the orbit is going to be about 450 kilometers. Ah, no.
Coming up on 8 minutes into
Why?
flight since launch of Falcon 9
Oh,
from Space Launch
just a few
Complex 4 at
seconds.
Vandenberg Air Force Base. We're heading south over the Pacific
What is my internet doing?
Ocean, headed towards Antarctica on our first of 2 burns of the upper stage engine. Now, in order to fly,
So yeah.
we're used to seeing us shut down the upper stage engine 9 to 9.5 minutes into flight. Today we'll actually be shutting down the engine just past T plus 10 minutes into flight. That's planned for today. The longer burn at lower power obviously takes more time, but gives us a more efficient trajectory.
Stage 2 AFTSS.
So yeah, they're almost in orbit now.
We're just past 9 minutes into flight. Everything continues to go well. As I said before, we're headed for Antarctica right now. We will have a coast phase once we get shut down. It'll cross over the southern polar regions and then en route east of Africa, where we will relight
What's going on?
the engine. You might have heard a call out behind me. I think some of the employees got a glimpse of one of the other cameras, and that's nominal on the second stage, so no need to worry about the expressions that you might have heard in the background.
Vehicles at terminal guidance.
We're coming up less than 30 seconds to shutdown of the second stage engine.
So yeah,
We're gonna
shut
wait for
down.
call out
Yeah.
on the orbit.
Stupid stream. What was flying away? Okay.
Nominal parking orbit insertion.
Yes.
And what we like to hear on the speakers in the background, nominal parking orbit insertion. The first burn of the second stage is complete, but stay with us, because in less than a minute, we're going to be coming up on separation and deployment of the 2 Grace follow-on satellites. While we can't see the satellites directly from the camera, we're hoping with the wider field of view of the camera that we might catch a glimpse of 1 or 2 of them passing through the field of view as they separate away from the dispenser mounted on top of the 5 Iridium Next satellites.
So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to see them fly away. They should be coming up from behind the Iridium satellite you see in your image.
Deploy confirmed.
We have confirmation of deployment of the Grace follow-on satellites. So we're through the first major milestone today. The first satellites have been deployed. We're now going into a coast phase with the second stage
So yeah,
with the 5
there was
Iridium Next
something
satellites
flying
still
away
attached.
at
We're going to
Seco,
resume
so
coverage of live commentary at T plus 50.
let me check that.
Wider
That was,
field burn of the
I don't know what was flying away, but I just wanted to check. Could be just ice, but
Tico.
yeah, it was just
We've had
ice.
shutdown of the second stage engine.
Okay, no alien shit, but yeah, that was a good launch.
Regular as expected.
Yeah. Let me turn down this. Also, I need to. Yeah, that's better. So yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that was cool. Now we couldn't see them flying away. Let me check if it wasn't.
Here on the speaker, hoping with mounted on. Information now going into the first set of the Grace
payload deploy. Grace payload deploy confirmed.
No, we couldn't see them flying away. That was a pity. Let me just do this again. F1. No, I need to change that key. Let me fix that. F2. So yeah, that was launch. Let me just get rid of that text. Yeah. We'll visit your channel. I have more people coming. So yeah, that was a cool launch. Hi, hi Clark, Clank. So sorry. Yeah, hi. Welcome on my not so shitty stream. I'm building the 100 shit up. Did you have problem with one engine? No, I didn't. I had problems with the wings and shit, but I'm gonna build it again because I want to have it for the space station. But I think I'm not bothered by it because I know Alfonso is creating one. So there's a red dot. Yeah, the files are really not good. So I'm just going to wait for Alfonso to make one. His one will probably be a little more easy to build. No, there's no. I can't recall that there being a red dot on the ship. I am continuing to design the H2B. So you guys are gonna see a model of the H2B soon, and yeah. I need to I need to like I need to do a lot of projects, but yeah, the most thing I'm like top priority yeah, this is my top priority, and making it remote controlled probably will not be a top priority, which will be cool though, but one, I need to save up some money to make it radio controlled, and two, yeah, it's gonna be difficult, but yeah, I will get there. Yeah, I'm slowly growing. Yeah, it's the reusable launch vehicle technology demonstrator. I'm gonna fly this. If you want to know, I'm gonna fly this. I have the booster ready. Like my launch, the clip that takes the engine in or holds the engine in place, it broke off the tip, but I still can fly it if I just send it down. It's just an okay clip, but I will be flying this. How are you patching? I need 4 more sold before I can order, but I haven't got a response from the guy who sells them yet, so I'm waiting for that. So yeah, this is like my top priority, and then I am still designing the H2B, which is coming out hopefully at the end of the month. So wait for that, guys. That's gonna be a really cool model because I just received a really cool detail pictures of the rocket. So yeah, I will be integrating I will be showing that, but also the weather is not really optimal for launches at the time, so yeah. And indeed, the second stage is going to start in just over 63 or 36 minutes. And then afterwards we will have the Iridium satellite deploy every 100 seconds. So yeah. Hopefully they recovered the fairing. I'm gonna check Twitter, so. Wow. Woo! I have 160 followers. Yeah. Let's check Elon Musk's Twitter. That's the most important thing to do. No, he didn't tweet anything. Nothing out for tweets. So yeah. Any questions for you? No, it's getting late for me. Yeah. In the meantime, just come up with a question so I can have something to talk about. And yeah, I will getting some drink and then coming back to the stream. and girls. Maybe girls, I don't know. Yeah, something cool. But yeah, making it radio controlled is gonna be hard because I don't have a lot of mass to work with. But yeah, could be really cool. Could be really epic. I might get Simon in here, or I go to Simon and use his drone and do some drop tests. So yeah. But the nose is completely destroyed from all the drop tests. So yeah. But it's a cool model. It's a really good model to build. I test built it for Alfonso a few times now. So yeah. Oh, I know a friend who has. Are you guys close? No, but well, he's from all my Twitter friends, he's the closest one, and he told me he it was he would like or actually I told him that if I'm gonna make it remote controlled, I would need some height to drop it from, so a drone would be the most or the preferred way to go, but he told me, but I don't know someone with a drone, and he is like only 4 hours away from me, like driving 4 hours, so that's pretty close. It's not that close, but you know what I mean. That's Church Starfish. I listened to that way too much since So yeah, it should be just crossing the ocean. Yeah. Okay, I'm getting tired of this. Yeah. So yeah. Since my computer doesn't want to cooperate to me with me today, I just am gonna keep it here. Yeah. Well, you guys, thank you for watching, and I hosted this. Share it with all your friends. Share my videos. Follow me on Twitter. Twitter will be in the description. If you stumble upon this stream, and you like my info, just share it. Sub on my channel, and yeah, that will be it for today. I'm rounding this off. I'm getting tired. I have school tomorrow, so yeah. All you guys. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.